Hey guys, Mark here. I am out in, I don't know, I'm not going down the Ghost Valley. I don't know what you'd call this area, kind of the Wypress area. And I'm not quite at the trailhead yet, but as far as I'm concerned, the adventure begins out here when you first hit the gravel, because then kind of the work begins, yeah. So, here we go. Motorcycles and they're out here on the gravel. Like, yeah, I'd probably be going pretty slow too. This part is packed down and kind of wet. I don't know why it's different, but I like it. It'd be nice if all of it was like this. Alright, well, Pyrus Valley. You can keep going down this road a long time, right? You can get quite far up there, at least to Edson. But we're not doing that today. Head down with Pyrus Valley here, up from Pyrus Creek. Alright, I've gotten to the part where you slow down a bit. That's nice because I can get the windows down since I'm not kicking up all the dust. Ugh. And there is bridge across the creek. All right, this is the entrance to Camp Camisel. Jillian describes going left, going straight. I mean, last time I came through here, like 5 days ago, this gate was closed, so I don't know why. I don't think you can go straight, especially with all the big signs. And then, of course, there's the way that everyone seems to go, which is to go right. Yeah, this is where now the road is not really taken care of anymore, so time to go achingly slow. Alright, I remember this mud hole. It's not that bad. Like, I went through it 5 days ago. Now it might be even a little smaller, so. Alright, get right over here as best I can. Nice and easy. There you go. Get up this hill. Alright. Alright, the name of that game is Patience. Nobody. Nothing. It's the middle of the week, but also there's a quad ban and a fire ban. There's nobody in like the 50 random camp spots I just finished passing. It means that's a great time to come out here for backpackers and hikers. Oh, beautiful day. A little windy down here, but I don't mind because it's hot. Devil's Head, Black Rock Mountain. The square one is Castle Rock. Not bad at all. Okay, let's show you where I'm going. This is a 4-day backpack. I'm in the orange one. I managed to pick my way all the way over here. And that's where I'm parked. So up number 3. All the way here. Oh, 5 days ago I did Margaret Lake. That's why I've already kind of knew that whole process, because I came and scouted. So up here, down number 12, down into Johnson Canyon, and then I want to do some of these day hikes, right? But I'm going to stay here for like 3 nights. And then out. All right. Here we go, first backpack of the year. Maybe the last one, I don't know. I'm having issues with my back this year. From the, probably a lot from all the backpacking I've done in the last 5 years, so. All right, know yourself, know your trail, know your gear. Know myself. Honestly, I'm more worried about me this time around than I am about this backpack. Yeah, I'm having some back issues. I'm gonna see how this goes, right? I know I can power my way through, that's not the issue. It's, you know, what's it feel like after the backpack? And, you know, do I wanna risk maybe doing some permanent damage to my back? The trail, I mean, I scouted up to Margaret Lake about 5 days ago, so I know that, first 6.5 kilometers. And I've been there before. Phew, I did an overnight from Ghost Lake, one of the toughest overnights I've ever done. Both going to Johnson Canyon and going back was crazy. All right, first thing I gotta do is a hill. Wasn't for this hill, you could go, honestly, in my car or a normal car, you could probably keep going another 5 kilometers, but phew. All right, so I know the trail quite a bit. I know there's crossings, at least one, but it's not an issue. Know your gear? Well, I'm pretty confident in my gear. I got an Garmin InReach. I've told people where I am. And most of the same gear from last year. I got nice new trekking poles this year. Yeah. A little bit of climb. On the way back, just for a little extra adventure, I might just walk down this, screw this hill. There's also like kind of interesting stuff on the other side there, which I'm curious about. It'd be a little something extra to pin it off, because you know the first 6.5 kilometers I've seen. That's the only thing about doing a scout adventure. The scout hike is you kind of ruin a bit of it for yourself, but also means I know where I'm going for the first 6.5 kilometers, and at a vital intersection 2 down there from Margaret Lake, I know what to do. So that's important. That's good. Since I was here 5 days ago, these puddles on the road, they're new. So I think the crossing that I scouted all the way down there is probably going to be a little higher. You know, like I know that there was kind of a thunderstorm over Cochrane last night, so probably this valley got some of it. But I think it'll still be all right. This blows my mind a little bit. Okay, they have covered it in. When I came through here 5 days ago, the staff were digging these couple of big chasms. This allows water to drain off. And based on the fact that there's no really, puddle here, I'd say it worked. But they're not quite as deep now. They were really deep before, and it was like only like a raised 4x4 could get through. But now, you know. Okay, this one's still pretty deep. That's quite a drop off right there. Yeah, well. And there's a bridge down here that they kind of fixed the approach and stuff too. Look at the puddles. It was dry 5 days ago. So it looks like I'm gonna dodge puddles. Oh well. First break of the year. I've only gone like not even a kilometer, but gotta give your time. Gotta give your body a little bit of time to get used to what's happening, warm up a little bit. Hey, bear! Woo! My bear count this year is already at 2. And I have, this is my first backpack. It is early in the season. Both black bears, they both turned tail and ran, but 2. I remember the one year I backpacked and day hiked and did stuff all summer. And then at the very end of the year, in like September, I saw a bear. That was it. 2. It's not even June yet. I'm trying to walk differently, trying to backpack differently. That's tough. One thing I learned about the body is that any muscles that you are not using, the muscles around them are kind of supplanting. Oh, dirt bike. Okay. Either the ban is lifted or that guy's just straight up breaking it. Who knows? If there are muscles you are not using but you are exercising, you are getting all the other muscles strong around it, and that muscle becomes like, the weak one becomes like a cancer. It just becomes a problem. And so this is what happened on my back, and now I have to try and use everything, right? And it's not easy. There are muscles, it's easy to just fall back into, that's what I want to do, just fall back into the normal way I backpack, or the normal way I walk. But I gotta stick my butt out and try and engage those muscles, right? Otherwise, the problem is just gonna keep getting worse. Maybe one day I can't backpack anymore. That's what I should also talk about. There is another option too. You could just go like ultralight backpack. And maybe I'll come down to that at some point, but I'm not there yet. All right, change the way I backpack entirely. Oh yeah. All right, there is a split. Lasts a little while. I've now walked both of them. The one on the left is probably a bit more interesting. A little closer to the water. The one on the right has like a couple of big long straightaways. But I think there's also kind of a shortcut cut line I can take. Cuts a little bit off. Plus, if there's going to be dirt bikes, they're going to be down there. So I think I'll take this one this time. Here we go. This straightaway is about 1 kilometer. This is about as long a straight line as I've ever seen on a hiking trail. All right. Now the straightaway turns left, goes down and joins up with the other trail. And there's a really nice little hangout spot down there. I'm gonna forego that and keep going straight on this. I believe it's a shortcut. I mean, I think I found the other end of it on my Margaret Lake Trail scouts. So yeah, I think it's a really nice little shortcut through here. Yeah, from this side it's not as obvious, but I don't know, probably doesn't save much, 25 to 50 meters, but hey, we'll take it. I'm gonna take a nice little break right here too. Beautiful, beautiful. I might get stormed on tonight. As long as I get to my tent, I'm happy. Nice. I think it's this one here that I'm going. I split these two uprights just down and around Devil's Head. First I gotta walk all the way down, then I turn across this thing and walk in there. There's been a few puddles I have to walk around, but nothing where I've had to like really dance and figure my way around mud, and it's been fine. Just a quick little note. This is a cut line that I believe Jill refers to in the Kananaskis Trail blind. That is, she warns you not to go and cross right there, right? It says the actual intersection is 0.5. I have found it from what I have measured to be about 0.9. You go down there, and just before it turns and cuts up towards Market Lake, that's where you cross in order to keep going down Wypress Creek. Okay, this road goes down there, turns right, heads up the hill, heads off to Margaret Lake. Here's the intersection. This is the farthest I've gone now. Time to blaze into a new trail. So I gotta cross this, and then I gotta figure out the trail on the other side. I think last time I actually saw a trail kind of heading up there, so see what happens here. This one here is pretty nice. This is kind of my first view of it. All right, this won't be a problem. It's probably fine over here. I've come over here where it's even more spread out. Got my water shoes on, or just to keep my trail runners dry than anything else. Woo! Oh, that feels good on the feet. Yeah, this is like, well, actually this might get a little deeper. Yeah, it was ankle height until here. Now maybe it's a little tiny bit higher. Ugh, there we go. Jill mentions this could be a problem one early in the season, and I was worried about it until I came and scouted it 5 days ago. It's because it's been so insanely hot. Like the water levels might already be high, and they are in some places, but I think in this case you just have a lot of the snow up there is already gone. All right, got my shoes back on. The next 340 meters apparently is described in this direction. So the road just keeps going. Well, the road has been, they used a backhoe and did everything they could to wipe it out. But oh yeah, this looks pretty roady to me. Figure my way around this puddle and just keep going down there. Then I have to intercept a cut line. Well, I haven't gone far. But like all this in here, this is kind of interesting. I'm gonna go look around. I'm sure there's plenty of random camp spots and maybe I'll find something interesting. Well, it's nice and open in here. Definitely room for all kinds of stuff, but now I feel compelled to go back and rescue my backpack before these dirt bikes come up beside it and wonder where the hell it came from. Back on the road. It wiped out the original road, made sure that it couldn't be accessed, but there's a road around it, so sort of kills the point. So this yeah, the way forward is insanely obvious, right? Here's the road. I believe this is the cut line. It's the same cut line that kind of carries up and becomes sort of the road up to Margaret Lake. So it's, I had looked at it a bunch 5 days ago. This, I don't think this is quite far enough, but also I can't think of it being any other. There's not gonna be another cut line that is, you know, exactly the same direction that I need to go. All right, so from now, unfortunately, I don't know why, but Jill has described this trail the other direction. So I have to follow directions in reverse. So the reverse directions are that on a road, levels out, you come to the cut line, turn right. So that means I need to go up here, find a road and turn left. And hopefully it's the correct road. Okay, did a bit more reading. The road that I'm looking for is in fact a quad road. So it's only been 500 meters since I've been on this cut line, but I think this is correct. I mean, it does point, this is actually on the on Maps.me as well. So I think it's a pretty good chance I got the right one. Starting to climb now a little bit. I've got to climb up to a high point before I get off this road. Gotta say, I'm starting to get a bit of a charge. Sometimes it takes a little while. Get out here, start walking around. But yeah, just from being on a backpack, my first one, oh, excuse me, I keep water burping. My first one of the year, pretty sweet, you know. My back feels, you know, I'm okay with it. It's, I think it's just, there's a bit of soreness, but I think it's not a bad sore. I think it's just, I'm using muscles that I usually don't use, right? Ooh, look at that hill. All done with that hill. Hopefully there's not more, but certainly could be. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, this just goes around this potentially boggy area here. There's the road up there. I've seen a couple of these just sort of break down here. Decided to check out this one, and like very quickly it just sort of fades away. Now you're just in forest, right? I thought they were sort of for drainage, but it seemed too big. But they also don't really go anywhere, so. Starting to come down now. I think I reached that high point. There's another one of these little mysterious side little roads that doesn't seem to go too far. This wind is really picked up and stuff, starting to get a little concerning. I'm hoping I'm not going to get caught in a storm, but it could happen. I'm still a ways away from where I'm supposed to camp. Okay, this is the intersection. I thought about running down there and checking out. There's supposed to be a viewpoint. It's supposed to be not even that far away, but look what I got coming. You know, on my last day, I'll come out here, it'll be early, right? And then if it storms on my last day, big deal. You know, I'm walking to the car. But in this case, I'd be getting soaking wet, and then I'd be out here for another 4 days. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this till the last day. And it looks like you cross back over this, which this has lots of water in it, so find a way. Looks like people have taken off into this meadow too and messed it up a bit with their quads and all that fun stuff. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's roll. Not bad at all. Black rock over here. This trail is called like Black Rock Viewpoint or whatever, lookout, but Black Rock's still way the hell over there. I mean, really? Yeah, that trail is actually on Maps.me. It's on the app Maps. This stuff though, this ain't. Well, walking through this, it's almost impossible to avoid walking in some water because you just can't tell if you're walking in it or not. But I bought trail runners that were waterproof this year, and now I'm happy I did, because that was one complaint I had about trail runners last year is, boy, if you got anywhere near water, they were wet. Like, if they touched water at all, it was in your socks. And right now I can't really feel it. This is looking a bit more like a trail. Maybe that'll be a little drier. So yeah, I'm pretty happy I tried to get something at least a little bit waterproof this year. Yeah, check that out. Obviously that's where that OHV road goes. Like I said, on the way back, maybe I'll just cut across this meadow. Maybe not, there's all kinds of hidden water in it, but yeah, I mean, I'll go check that out. Why not? Little exploration on the way back. I got a problem now. Just reading. The trail intersects this meadow on the northern half. Great. So somewhere in this, I have to find a trail, and I have no clue if it's obvious or what. So I'm gonna put my backpack down now and look all around in here, make sure I don't see anything. I mean, it looks like there's stuff that keeps going here, but I mean, like look, right? Is that it? All right, this is gonna be, this is gonna take a little work here, figure this out. I don't know what to do. This could be it. When I look at the map, I feel like this is too far north. But yeah, I mean, how obvious is it going to be? I'm going to keep walking, see if I find something really obvious. If I go like obviously too far, then maybe I'll come back to this area, right? I think pretty obviously, worst part is to come up here. I respect this. You know, they took the time to shovel it and put it in a pile. This is, that is well done. Well, I know I'm looking around and trying to navigate, but still have to appreciate this beautiful meadow. Look at Black Rock Mountain from here now. Awesome. It's getting pretty sweet. Well, you got kind of a copse of trees here, a meadow over there, and then obvious tire tracks going down here, so maybe this is where it leaves the meadow. Well, I'm happy to say that as I've gone, the trail has actually gotten more and more obvious. And there's clear clear horse droppings along it, so doing all right. Now there's kind of a new little meadow sneaking up over here on the right. This is just beautiful. Still windy, but I don't see anything coming in on me, so that's good. Devil's Head, Black Rock, beautiful. All right, I left my bag over there because I saw over here something that looked like a pretty good trail, and I found horse dung. All right, it looks pretty good. It looks like a good trail. And then I looked back, and this is a cut line. And this is one of the ways. There's two ways to get to Johnson Canyon. So I'm gonna go back, get my bag, and I'm gonna take this way. And when I come back, I'll go back the other way and come up, end up walking along here. All right, so just to review, there's the cut line. You can see the cut line on the other side if you move aside and get around those trees, right? You got this feature, and you got that feature, and you walk out of there. There, that should give you lots of ammo to find this for yourself. Happy to say that I only got a few drops out of this stuff, and now the wind has even kind of calmed down, and that's what I got to work with, so things are looking up. Alrighty, can barely see it now. Down there, I've come about 900 meters up this thing, and Jill talks about a trail that breaks off to the right just before the end of it. I don't know about that, but I do see some kind of trail actually heading to the left. Also, when I was down there 3 years ago, I marked a spot where I looked like I saw something climbing out, and it's only like 350 meters down that way, so you know what, this is fine. We're going in the right direction. Okay, my apologies to Jill. Look for a forest that cuts across to Johnson Canyon. She doesn't say right. You get down to the bottom of the trail, then you turn right, because then you've arrived at the canyon. So yeah, but yeah, the trail definitely breaks left off that cut line. All right, just trying to wave away the spider webs. You can see the trail doesn't get a whole lot of attention. There is horse dung on it, but none of it is very new, that's for sure. Oh yeah. This is all we got. That trail really isn't, well, it's not that bad. Down there, right? So beautiful. Huh. Just as great as I remember it. It is so sweet in here. Oh, I love it. For now anyway, there's a trail that follows this, because let me tell you, walking through the rocks is not a whole lot of fun. It also hasn't had much love. I don't know when the last time horse party came up here, but Boy, I would love what they did and brought some chainsaw love to the situation. Well, it's just a matter of time. Into the rocks. I gotta get around this corner. That's gonna be the end of my day. So, a little ways still. Beautiful. Not bad when it comes to flowers, you know. All over the place. I remember I thought I had to come around this corner. That's a false corner. Over there. I think I did the exact same thing 3 years ago too. I can remember that. Kind of cool. Almost there. It's just in here. Last time I left here, I lost my knife. I even went back and looked. Nope, never did find it. I'm pretty stoked. When I came here a few years ago, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I can't wait to come back here and play. And here I am, 3 years later, and I can't wait to come to play around for the next 2 days in here. Oh, it's so cool in here. It is just, it is just beautiful. Look at Devil's Head. Oh my God. Well, last time I was here, it was like, I think early July, like really early July. The water was coming down to like probably here before it vanished into the rocks. Now I don't see anything. There's snow in here. That wasn't that last time. Of course, now it's, you know, end of May. Last time I stayed in here, oh, I remember this little rock chair. Yeah. Last time I set my tent up in here, I mean, I was pretty tired. And then I walked up there like the next morning and found a pretty nice spot. So, and I think another reason to go up there is because if there's no water down here, I mean, yeah, there's clearly water up there someplace. Sheesh, turn around. Look at this wall. This water here, where's it even coming from? I don't see any snow. That's funny. Lots of chalk marks, lots of climbing going on in this area. Yeah. One of my side missions tomorrow is to go up this thing, and she calls for you to recross the creek just below the highest fall. Well, look at the, I mean, I don't know. Look at that. Well, that sounds like a tomorrow problem to me. Pretty sweet. Here's kind of the biggest sort of eating area. I'm hunting around for a spot that's flat. I would rather not be like over there, looks nice, but I'd rather not be near the water. I'm not really one that likes the endless drone of water, right? So, and I'm gonna sleep here 3 nights, so yeah. Kind of a big deal. Where do I set up the tent? Well, I'm on the other side. This is probably one of the flatter spots. Even then, it's not totally, there's nothing. I remember thinking that 3 years ago too. There's like really nowhere to camp around that fire pit, but you know. Anyway, I've been looking around for at least half hour, and yeah, I mean, if you like the drone of the water, this is probably the spot for you. Me, I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that my spot is not going to be level. That's the most level spot anywhere around here. That's precisely where they built the fire pit. Well, I think this is the best I can do. Still hear the drone of the water real well and everything, but it's not too far. You know, like maybe 25 meters from the food eating area, so not too close, not too far. The water's not too far. I'll take it. This thing is anything but flat, but it'll have to do. I've got a rock in each corner because I've already seen a bunch of wind come sweeping through here. I try to find cover. There is some, but not a huge amount, right? And I am going to leave this tent a couple of times and go day hiking, so hence the rocks. Pretty cool here. I have been staring at this and staring at this and staring at this, trying to figure out how I'm going to get up this thing, if I even can. The place where Jillian says to cross, I'm going to go ahead with probably 90% sure that that's going to be covered in snow, wherever it happens to be up there. So, and then you start looking at all these cliff bands. How do I get up how do I get up those? Can I find a way? Yeah, well, it's a puzzle. It's one step at a time. Well, had my breakfast, had my supper, everything's set up. I'm gonna say I'm a bit of a sucker for, I'm just gonna get to this level here, and I'm just gonna look around. Let me see if I can't get over here. Maybe I'll go across over there. I don't know. You know me, I like to explore. Frankly, I forgot a book or something to do with the rest of my daylight, so why not? Let me go down here. I'm just gonna scramble my way up this. It's pretty cool. The thing about a rock face like this is look at it now. It's super easy. But from back over here, you're looking at it, trying to figure it out, see if you can do it. I'm just a sucker for a challenge. I don't care that I can't do it all today. I just keep staring at this and I want to go and take it on, right? So, I mean, I don't know why I'm fooling myself, telling myself I'm gonna go up here. It's coming. It really is very nice porous rock. It's easy to grab onto. Okay. I don't think I'm supposed to cross here anyway. That just goes to kind of a dangerous area. I think I'm supposed to cross there. This has been so porous and nice. Even if I can't cross, I think I won't have any problems getting up this thing, you know, somewhere. Look at that, I probably could. Head over here. I think this is the area that she means for you to climb up. That's pretty slippery looking, but yeah, that looks slick. Or maybe you're supposed to cross here, but I can't do that. That's not happening. What do we got going on up here? I think this will be fine. It might be a little tricky getting down, right? You got to be careful about, okay, yeah, I can climb it. It's easier to climb it than it is to get back down. So tomorrow I'll climb it when I actually plan to finish to do everything up there. But I'm not going to do it twice. I'm not coming back down twice. So I think that's what I got going on. I'm going to walk along here and scout and see if I can find maybe a better way up, but other than that, I'm just kind of exploring, right? And I've climbed up most of this now. Tomorrow it's up there, Bastion Ridge. This is just gorgeous country. My God. All right, I was over here, picked my way over. Jackpot. I think this is safe, both up and down. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that was maybe a little sketchier than I thought it was gonna be. But I'm here. Jill has me going up here someplace, you know, the Kananaskis Trail guide, and there's a break in the snow down there. Actually, there's nothing up here too, so yeah, home free. Well, I've been sitting here for a while, just enjoying. Time for the dubious descent. Well, there's a lot of parts where I got on my butt and just had to stretch my legs down as best I could, and one time I even had to do a little jump. But I'm down. Let's get down out of here now. Probably more than halfway down. I thought I'm gonna explore around in here, but like, it is just thick, nasty. That does not look like any fun, so yeah. I do it if it's no fun in this case. Well, now that I'm done that little adventure, why don't I hike down along the creek and see where it enters into the rocks. I mean, down there it's gone. This is what happens when you are not used to going to bed when the sun goes down. Of course, this is what I usually do anyway, right? I just adventure. Well, I'm finding stuff that's not supposed to be here. Exactly what use is this supposed to serve? Oh yeah. No way. You can still hear it up here. You can hear it loud and clear. How could it already be gone? Where did it go? Oh, there's a little bit. Okay. And right here. You can still hear it really well. In the space of, what, 5 meters? Here it pools. Goes down here. Pools a little bit again. And gone. Nature just blows me away with these things sometimes. How does water just disappear in the rocks like that? Well, it's good to note, if you want to be away from the falls, from that constant drone, that's the thing, there's that nice eating area up there, but down here there's tons of good spots, right? Tons of flatness. So, I mean, the water just ends maybe 10 meters up there, so you'd have water too. Almost back out to the valley. Found an old spot, really old one. But it's here. That's where I ate my meals 3 years ago. Ain't much to it. Not much fire usage. Right now there's a fire ban. That's one reason why I'm not doing that, to maybe pass a bit of time before I go to bed. So I try to keep my poles inside the tent now. They're brand new, and I don't want the straps to get chewed out by a porcupine. But as I'm roughing around in here, one of them poked a hole in my tent. That is super annoying. Ugh. Oh well, that's what duct tape is for. Well, I did my stretches as much as best I could in here on my back and stuff. I think it basically feels the same as last year, which is a little disappointing after several months of trying to strengthen it and that kind of thing. But Well, I mean, the backpack is done, and that was, you know, kind of the uphill, and, you know, I had 4 days of food, and so that was the hardest part of this backpack, but still, you know. Anyway, mission accomplished. Now I get to play out here for 2 days. I even managed to do a preemptive climb of the head wall there, and I hope I sleep half decent with the drone of the creek. Like I said, I might feel compelled to move my camp tomorrow a little farther away. Anyway, good night. Jeez, and now I got a hole in my sleeping bag. I'm not having a good day for equipment here. Good God. This is a brand new sleeping bag. Where'd this hole come from? Sheesh. All right, quick pass job before I go to bed. I don't know if it's gonna hold much, but this is better than nothing.